correctly. Really the saying that I always go back to is that you stay fit in the gym and lean in the kitchen. And that's something that I learned, because I still, as an old guy, I'm still working out 7 days a week, mainly to keep some of that soreness away that I experienced after 13 years. But also a big incentive is because I'm chasing 8 grandbabies. But it's something that, I thank my wife that she's read a lot and she knows about it. And it's something that I've incorporated into my life and our kids. We call her the best athlete in our family. I'm going to brag on my kids a little bit before I turn it over. She was a 2-time Miss Basketball in Ohio, 2-time D1 Player of the Year, and played 1 year at I'm thinking about Jerome. 1 year at University of Tennessee, and then transferred and played 3 years at Ohio State. And then our son, he was a 4-year starter at the University of Tennessee. Didn't go on to the next level, but he got a postgraduate scholarship and went on to get his MBA. So something that they are doing that with their children now. They each have 4. So hopefully we pass that on to them, and especially the way my wife cooks and what she feeds us. So that's what the message we share with them.
Well, I'm in the midst of that right now. I have 2 little ones. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and their idea of the 4 basic food groups is cheese pizza. So I have an uphill battle. I've got an uphill battle in terms of working on them and trying to keep them regulated. Let's say that. I struggle with regulation. That's why they call me the bus. So it's been an uphill challenge, but I like to think that we're doing our best. We have 2 great, beautiful kids, and they love milk. They love pizza. They love all the things, right? But our key and what we try to express to them is everything in moderation. And we don't have a problem with the things that as long as it's in the right moderation, and we don't go over the top with it. So we're still in the midst of it, and we're still challenged, but I like to think we're doing a pretty good job.
I'm not raising any kids yet, but I grew up with parents who were pretty strict on me and made sure I was eating the right things. And as a professional athlete, I've had it said to me many times that if you're a sports car, you need this special kind of fuel in your tank, and if you're just a run-of-the-mill car, you can go with the unleaded. And so they've been told, as a professional athlete, you need that performance fuel, and the performance fuel is the right kind of foods in your system. And I, like anybody else, I have a lot of cheat days. Probably more cheat days than my wife would like for me to have, but those keep me sane. So I have those, but try to eat as healthy as I can and really be balanced, like they said. And it's something that was a constant education process where in high school you kind of ate what you wanted and didn't feel it, didn't feel the effects. Then in college you're waking up pretty sore after games and the soreness is lingering and it's a new feeling, so you start to learn about ways you can help yourself, and much of that was through my diet and getting better sleep and getting better energy. And now as a professional athlete, it's your job for a living, so you take it very, very seriously, and it's highly competitive, and you know that if you're not being disciplined with your diet, someone else is, and they're going to pass you by. So try to be as disciplined as I can and be well-rounded like that. Thanks.
So as the resident former media person, I'm going to try to give you the most difficult questions possible. I'm going to be the Megyn Kelly of the night. The debate is still going to continue, though. The bus, come on over, babe. Okay, you're first. So, as I recall, 10 years ago, it was about 48 hours before game time. You're going into the Super Bowl. Come out victorious, but what was it like today, leading up? Do you remember it like it was yesterday?
Today was a pretty difficult day in that, we had gone through all the media, and so all the media requests had pretty much died down. We'd answered every question 10 times. We were so sick of answering questions we were ready to hit somebody, but the problem was we still had a couple of days. So we were really chippy. We were starting to get a little obnoxious with each other. And that's the difficult part. And unfortunately, at this time is when you start to hear some things about the other team, because you've been nice for a week and a half and you're saying, hey, I'm tired. You know what? They suck. We're gonna beat them. So you run out of the superlative to give because you're so anxious. So this is a time to practice restraint for these guys, because they can say something that can really change the whole momentum of the Super Bowl.
You're a Hall of Famer now. What was that like?
Awesome. Awesome. I'll tell you that. It was pretty neat, because I had to, people look at it and say, oh, you're going to get in the Hall of Fame. And because I had to wait a couple years, and people would always say to me, you know what, you're a Hall of Famer in my book. And I would always say, thank you. But inside, I would always say, your book doesn't count. Nobody reads your book. I want to get in. Let me in. So we got in, and when I say we, it was a complete family and friends that all got into the Hall of Fame, not just myself. So it was pretty special. And it was really evident in the speech that I gave at the Hall of Fame, really wanting to acknowledge all of those people that helped me get to the place that I am today.
Beautiful. Awesome, dude. All right, Kirk.
Oh, thank you.
You had quite a run this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Give us some color. What was that like?
It's incredible. This was my first year starting through the whole season, starting week 1 and going all the way, and that was a learning experience in and of itself. The season didn't start that great for us. We were 2-4 and went into our home game before our bye week, and we're down 24-0. So we're looking at going to 2-5 before our bye week, and the last couple of years it started 2-5 and didn't finish too well. So kind of got down to our backs against the wall. Unfortunately, we came out swinging, and we came back and won that game 31-30, and that was that whole thing started.
So Kirk, everyone in this room runs a business. These are like the power players, and there was something in that moment, right? Something clicked, something turned. We're all sometimes, we're not making the numbers, we're not, right? What was it? What was the motivation? What was the turnaround?
Well, there's no doubt in that moment, and looking back now, you can clearly say the tables turned. And I think in all of our lives, whether it's in our business or in our personal life, there's something in our lives where we're praying for and hoping that the tables are going to turn. And it takes belief. There can't be doubt. There has to be confidence, and there has to be complete buy-in by everyone involved for the tables to turn. But I saw it happen this season. Like I said, after 2 miserable seasons of 3-13 and 4-12, and then starting 2-4 and down 24-0, looked like here we go again. And the tables turned, and we finished the season 9-7 and won the division and made the playoffs. And now we're going to see from here how can we handle success and move on. But there's no doubt that we're all looking to turn the tables, and it takes belief, and especially in those moments where it's easy to give up and throw in the towel, just keep going. And I think the persistence is what can cause those tables to turn.
What have you learned about being a leader for the team? Because you've really risen up as a leader, and in the scheme of things, you're fairly young.
Yeah, I am. I got standing next to guys with 2 gold jackets. And I've got a charcoal jacket, as you can see. So I got a long ways to go. And like I said, this was my first year playing, and I was doing a lot of figuring out on the go, learning on the fly. But I've enjoyed the opportunity to lead when I've been given that chance back to high school, through college, and as a quarterback, even if you're a young player, you don't have a choice. You got to lead. I mean, you got to step in the huddle, and the 10 guys got to look in your eyes and see something in your eyes that elevates their level of play. And if they don't see that, your chances of being successful are slim to none. So, it's an honor for me to have that role and be able to do that and play with passion and fire and try to inspire guys around me, and I'll continue to do that as long as I play.
Yes.
Well, with the secretary here, and I'm just going to interject in between the player, is I know you've been a big supporter of ag and us in the GMO issue, and I'd like to have you tell us where's that going to go, what's going to happen there. It's a ticklish issue.
Okay. Well, the quick answer is that there is a balance between a customer's and consumer's right to know what they're consuming and the ability to convey the right message about the safety of the product. And the challenge is we label in this country historically for two reasons: nutrition, how many calories, what's the protein content, and so forth, or known risk. You've got a peanut allergy, you need to know that this contains peanuts. GMO is a process. It's a way in which product is produced, and it's not nutrition, and it's not there's not a food safety issue. So it's a concern if you want to put something on the package to suggest, because consumers may get confused and may think there's something unsafe about the product. Having said that, these just about everybody's got one of these, and you can essentially with one of these put a barcode or put a QR code on a package. You use a smartphone or a scanner, and you can learn everything you need to know about a product if you're one of those consumers who wants to know, without conveying the wrong message about the product. And I think that at the end of the day, something in Congress is going to be to suggest that over the next couple of years, we formulate some kind of mechanism for a 1-800 number, a website, a QR code that gives consumers information, but does it in a way that doesn't send a wrong message about the safety of the product. And part of the reason why we've been extraordinarily productive, and part of the reason why America is helping not just feed our own people, but also people around the world, particularly those who cannot produce enough food to feed themselves, is because of science. And we have to make sure that we respect science and that we use it to continue. Because if we're going to feed an ever-increasing world population, we're going to have to trust science. It's sort of like quarterback here. You know, you go in the huddle. If you don't see the quarterback having confidence, the chances are pretty good the other guys aren't going to perform. But it occurred to me here that if you had, with due respect to your running back, if you had a running back like that, and you had a tackle like this, you would have. You'd be well on your way to.
Anthony, so I have had the great pleasure of getting to know this amazing Hall of Famer. What was it, 11 consecutive Pro Bowls? Who's counting? But I wanted to bring up, because you have been Walter Payton Man of the Year, and oh, by the way, when we launched Fuel Up to Play 60 en Espanol around the country, he helped lead that vision with us. What is it about you? You really are a man about the community and about creating change. What is it from your childhood that has made that such a big priority? And from your perch as an athlete, you've made it a priority, clearly.
Well, I think, first of all, there's no question about it. You can't forget where you've come from. The fact that my mom raised 5 kids by herself, working 2-3 jobs, teaching us what it meant to work extremely hard, work ethic right in the house, not having a dad, never meeting my dad. So that's where it started. We had to learn to survive. I mean, she was gone at 6 in the morning. We had to learn how to clean house, cook, wash clothes, iron. So that allowed us to be independent. And then the mentors I had in my life, from coaches and teachers and uncles that taught us, things don't come easy. You got to work extremely hard. There's not going to be handouts. So that was another part of it. And just the fact that, to whom much is given, much is expected. And that comes through my faith. I want to be obedient. I want to serve others. I want to make others more important than myself, because that's what people modeled to me. They poured into my life. They gave to me. They gave me an opportunity to really chase a dream. Although my dream was in another sport, I was going to be a Major League Baseball player, but I kept growing, and by my senior in high school, I was 6'6", 300 pounds. You know, playing third base, that was kind of out of the picture. But I did get a chance to pitch 1 year at USC, so I got to fulfill a little bit of that baseball love that I had on the college level. And 1 year I played, we won the World Series. So, but it's